Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Today on part 2 of the romantic and moody bedroom makeover, we're finally going to get some paint on these walls. But first, I have to make a decision on a color and I'm having a hard time narrowing it down. So I'm going to eliminate 3 of these colors. And then of the top 3, I'm going to use the leftover paint samples and I'm going to make 3 bigger swatches. I almost said squatches. Swatches on the wall. And then I can step back and take a nice look to see which one I like better. So let's take a look at our choices. These are all Benjamin Moore colors. So we have Dash of Pepper, Castle Peak Gray, Cabin Fever, Dark Olive, Forest Floor, and Vintage Vogue. And I must say, as I'm doing this, the colors are not translating perfectly on video. So I'm going by obviously what I see with my eyes. But here's my thought. Dash of Pepper is a little bit too brown for me. Castle Peak Gray is looking too gray. And Cabin Fever, which I thought was a nice combination of a green and brown, is looking too muddy to me. So I thought my top choice was going to be Dark Olive, but now that's got some cool gray undertones to me now that I'm looking at it. I do like Forest Floor. It's got a little deeper greens. And I thought I was going to eliminate Vintage Vogue right off because it was too green. And it's coming through much darker, almost like a black gray on here, but it's really quite green. But this has been really popular on Pinterest boards, and it's really beautiful in those rooms. So I'm going to give it a second look. I'm going to try these 3 in bigger swatches and see how they look. And then I'll pick one and we'll do the whole room in it. Here is Forest Floor. That's looking very green. This is Dark Olive. And Vintage Vogue. Now we'll let this dry and see how it looks. While I was finishing up yesterday, a storm was coming through and it got pretty dark in here, and then we were waiting for it to dry, and then I wanted to see how it looked at night with just the overhead light, and then again in the morning with the sun. And today we do have a sunny day, and the window is right here on the left. Let me take a closer look. This is Forest Floor. This one is the Vintage Vogue. And this one is the Dark Olive. And this is what I originally thought I was going to do, but now it's looking a little bit like it has some grayer undertones to it, maybe some cooler undertones. So I'm not liking it as much. And the forest floor, it looks a little bit too heavy, a little bit too dark. But this Vintage Vogue, I think it has a little bit of a lightness to it, maybe a little lighter, a little brightness. It's hard to tell. But I think the winner is Vintage Vogue. Let's do it. Let's get some paint. I think we are all sealed up and covered up and ready to go. Got the floors covered and the window covered and the light covered. And I'm about to get covered. I'm going to be using a Wagner spray gun. I'm not sure which model it is, but I've had it for a bit. I used to flip furniture, so it came in very handy. So if this thing is working properly, and sometimes it can be a little temperamental, but once we get it going, it should be pretty quick. So let's show you the paint. Let's take a look. Ooh, that's going to be nice. Well, I am so pleased and relieved to report that this room is painted. And man, that was brutal. That was brutal. I'm feeling every bit of my boomer life right now. Everything hurts from my toes to my knees to my shoulders to my fingertips. But we got it done. I'm not sure my decision to use the paint sprayer was a great idea for this particular job. It seemed to be more of a hassle than it was worth at the end. I get sections that would come out so nicely, and then the stream would get all sputtery, and I'm sure it's a user error, but it just got to be a little bit frustrating. I got almost the whole room done, and then there was a small section on the ceiling, and sprayer just would not perform for me. So Mr. Boomer was kind enough to come in with a roller and finish up that ceiling for me. But now it looks pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. I think you're gonna like it. So I'm gonna take you in and show you what it looks like so far. You might notice a couple of changes. I did get a new headboard. I actually purchased the headboard months ago when this little room makeover was just a little idea floating around in my head. I did bring in the dresser, the Facebook Marketplace dresser that I showed you. I put that in the room, and I also brought in the carpet from the living room into the bedroom. I kind of robbed Peter to pay Paul and brought that carpet in, and it works perfectly. But enough of my rambling, let's go and take a look. Now, I did order a new chandelier for in here. So we took the other one out, so the lighting is not going to be the best. But I hope you can see how beautiful this color is. Let me take you around. This is called Vintage Vogue by Benjamin Moore, and I use the Regal Select in a matte finish. And it's a very thick paint, but it goes on like butter, and it just has this beautiful velvety finish. Also, the brass door pulls, that was a winner. Thank you, Nancy, for your help. So now we just have to add the details. They're all in transit at the moment, but those will be coming up soon. Well, what do you think? Did I pick the right color? I really like it. And what do you think about the color washing, where you paint everything the same color? The doors, the trim, the ceiling, everything. I like it. I feel like I'm wrapped in a cozy blanket. If you're still watching at this point, thank you so much for your patience. I know I take forever to get these videos out, but technically I am a senior citizen. And while we do learn and we can do things, we just do them a little more slowly. Next time, I'll be tackling these two side tables, and I'll be using this Retique refinishing system for the first time. So keep your fingers crossed. I also ordered some color swatches for the drapes from 2 pages, so maybe you could help me decide on which one we should pick. I'm going to get started on these side tables, and then next week I'm going camping, so I'm going to be out of town. But when we get back, and if the delivery gods are working in our favor, because we are working in real time here, then I should be able to get everything together and have the big reveal finally. Thank you again so much for sticking with me. I really appreciate you being here. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.